feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this opportunity.
Yeah.
Subleasing is like the sexy girl in the club that everybody wants to dance with, but no one's talking about co-hosting. So I think it's great to, one of my students just messaged me 2 days ago. He's like, hey, I got 9 co-hosting. Should I go and get my sublease now? I'm like, dude, you have such a great system.
Yeah. When you start to have some success with Airbnb and you're starting to make some money, like that student that you mentioned making 60 grand a month, is she starting to pull some kind of some leverage or basically some risk away from Airbnb and saying, you know what, I'm going to do Airbnb full time. I'm going to double down on Airbnb, but I'm going to take some money out. I'm also going to start buying properties.
Yeah, that's the next phase. Is they want us, now that they've really scaled this and they're doing really well, their goal is to start buying some real estate now and start diversifying from subleasing, which I think is a great idea. Like I personally have 8 that I own, 7 that I sublease, and 3 that I manage. And it's a really good portfolio, like balance, right? Because the co-hosting, a lot of people don't talk about co-hosting, but that's where if I manage your Airbnb and then you pay me 20%, but I didn't have to put any rent or any down payments, no closing costs, no furniture. Basically, I'm profit day one.
Yeah,
And
no
I
risk.
have a piece of all the upside, none of the downside. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this opportunity.
Yeah.
Subleasing is like the sexy girl in the club that everybody wants to dance with, but no one's talking about co-hosting. So I think it's great to, one of my students just messaged me 2 days ago. He's like, hey, I got 9 co-hosting. Should I go and get my sublease now? I'm like, dude, you have such a great system.
Yeah.
You're like literally printing money. Like even if you're making 500 or 1,000, those are great numbers compared to what the average real estate investor is making today with long-term. I was like, dude, keep printing money, go get another 3 and 5. And then maybe at the end of the year, let's talk about subleasing.
So what does that look like? Does he basically, he has a system in place,
Yeah.
he does like the outreach, and then he
Right.
pulls them into the system, and then boom, he does nothing?
let's talk about this because I know especially right now with unemployment on the rise and more of it coming, a lot of people are trying to think of a side hustle and they have very limited capital. Like we see it all the time. I just did a webinar yesterday. All these people that apply for coaching, they're like, I want to do this, but I don't have a job and I have like 3,000 to my name. So here's a strategy that I think everybody listening here could really take advantage of, right? So we call it co-hosting. You're basically managing other people's Airbnbs. In exchange, you get a percentage of all the revenue, whether it's 10%, 15%, or 20%, it's all negotiable. But some of the people that you're co-hosting for, they don't always own the real estate, right? Like you might want to sublease someone else's property, but you don't want to be involved because you got your podcast, your coaching, you got the credit, all this legal stuff you're working on. So you want someone like me to come co-host for you, but you're like, hey, Jorge, I don't really have time to talk to landlords, and I know you have experience. What if I pay you to go acquire the property for me? So then I charge you now an acquisition fee, right? That acquisition fee, I have students charging from like $700 to like $1,700 for the acquisition, because they got to find the deals, analyze the deals, close the deals, sign the contracts. It's a lot of due diligence, verify the regulation with the city, verify the numbers on AirDNA rentalizer, all that stuff. And then you might be like, hey, well, I don't want to set it up myself, right? My time's too valuable. Can you set it up for me? Now, me as a co-host, I'm going to put together a furniture list, a virtual like design. I'm going to order all the furniture from your Amazon account, coordinate that all the boxes go inside. And I'm going to go there with my team and I'm going to assemble all the furniture, do all the decor, create the welcome books, create the listing, and be like, here you go, right? So there's acquisition fees, and then there's like setup and design fees. And then you get a piece on the back end. So now you got like reoccurring revenue on, man, this is like, I even get the chills talking about it. It's like so many more people should be doing this strategy.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at situations, people say, oh, you know, what can I do to make money? There's so many things that people can do right now to make money. Like Airbnb, with what you just mentioned, is a situation in which you basically just have to have the work ethic, the mindset, and be organized enough to where you can put a team together and then find the leads, bring them into your system, and basically scale it up with no money in.
100%.
It's like an ideal type of situation.
If you've enjoyed this clip and you'd like to watch the full episode, you can do so on my main YouTube channel by clicking the video here.